one of the first times I met her and she asked me about spirit guide stuff, I see like this cloud, like a mist almost. The outside of it is like a fluffy cloud, and on the inside there is this golden light. And what he does to help her is he surrounds herself with the white blanket, but inside is the golden light, and that is the calm, healing, warm feeling that he puts onto you when you're having anxiety attacks. Hi everyone! I'm Liv, and this is Em, and we're your Meta Psyckicks. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about spirit guides.
So each of us have spirit guides as well, and we're going to introduce you guys to them. Liv obviously knows them, but I kind of know them. I have a lot of stories, so we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna go first, and I'm probably gonna cry, so there's your warning for today.
But before we start, she wants me to talk to her spirit guide. I don't like to do this a lot because everybody's spirit guide is very personal. So don't be like, hey, can you do a spirit guide reading on me? Because I don't feel comfortable telling people who their spirit guides are, because everybody's spirit guide is different, and it's for you and them and not me. And I feel like that's a very intrusive thing to do. Maybe I'll do it down the road when I feel more comfortable, or if people are more comfortable.
100% okay with you revealing anything. I don't care.
Okay.
Because it will help other people. I have processed a lot of my trauma, so it's okay.
Okay. But so that's why I'm gonna do Emily.
Because if you bring up trauma to someone, it's going to break them. Yeah. I'm not like that. I'm further down the line.
Emily's given me permission to try and look into her
publicly on the internet.
Look into her spirit guides, which is not something that I usually like to do. So, without further ado, Emily's spirit guide. Do you want to tell the story, or do you want me to read first?
It's up to you.
Which do you think she hasn't told me the story yet, so what makes more sense?
You probably reading me.
She is going to let me talk to her spirit guide, which we did a little bit before this video started. I had to tell him to calm down there, soldier.
I started showing her these pictures, and she says it's kind of like this mist. So it's kind of like this photo. This is what she gets. I had another medium friend who's not my friend anymore. She saw a different thing because he's kind of a shape-shifting kind of dude. But there's like this anime that has a deer with like a whole bunch of antlers, and it like shape-shifts into this big blue creature, and the antlers go all the way down its body, but it's kind of like looks like the creature that Avatar turns into at the water nation.
So Emily and I have been friends for a while, and one of the first times I met her and she asked me about spirit guide stuff, I see like this cloud, like a mist almost, which is why we showed you the picture. I see more of just the white colors, not the colors around it. So if you're looking at the picture before, and it's a very masculine presence. So I see the big white cloud, and like she said, it's shape-shifty. So when it presents itself to me, he's telling me sorry. When he presents himself to me, it's as a mist. But when he presents himself to her, the mist is malleable. So he can come in different forms or take on.
I have like a whole bunch of different personalities that don't get along together. So he needs to be different things for different scenarios. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I'm a really chill person, but I have very severe anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've never really understood her anxiety. I have anxiety and depression, and it's different because we're different people. Everybody's things are different. But she's explained it to me, and it's kind of hard for me to grasp. But it's funny because right before we were filming this video, she's like, well, just see if you talk to my spirit guide. I'm like, I really don't want to. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And he's like, no, I'm here. He gives her a very calm, warming feeling, almost like a paternal protection, if that makes any sense. And
it feels like I have a heavy coat on.
Like a large, heavy weight of warmth and security. And
yeah, when the other medium told me that, I was like, well, I feel this thing when I'm sad, and I don't think other people feel it, and you just kind of explained it. Because that happened to her, that he put his energy over her to pull the anxiety out of her.
It's like The outside of it is like a fluffy cloud, and on the inside there is this golden light. And what he does to help her is he surrounds herself with the white blanket, but inside is the golden light, and that is the calm, healing, warm feeling that he puts onto you when you're having an anxiety attack. And I think it's funny, like I said, how I didn't understand how her anxiety was, and what he did is he showed me how she feels anxiety. And there is like a pinprick of tension right here, and on her throat it's like a constrictive feeling, like you want to scream and run but you can't. Do you have like a hard time breathing?
Anxiety,
Like
I have a panic disorder.
Like you can't breathe, but it's like right here and right here. God damn it, Emily. Why? And I've never had that feeling of anxiety before, so now I know how she feels.
I have a panic disorder, which I'll explain it to you. Essentially, what happens when you have a panic disorder is when you experience your flight or fight scenario, whatever, that feeling you have naturally, your brain is like misfires and says you're in extreme danger for situations that are not in any remote dangerous. So it just is like quick, like if you're touching a stove, that reaction of moving your hand, that's how I have panic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
but
about
you have
it.
them
It
like
just
rapid
happens.
fire too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just happens. Like I don't know why it happens because it happens so quickly. Like it doesn't reach my brain.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know my triggers is because it happens over and over and over again for the same scenario.
Lee's proud of you for talking about it because he's not helping you right now.
Yeah.
But him. He's very adamant about that. I think that's funny. He's gotten larger since you were a child, because since you were a child, things have gotten worse, so he's had to get larger, which makes sense of why he is a cloud. He says, but you have been trying to deal with things more lately instead of just suffering. And he acknowledges that. He's showing me he was sitting in a living room playing with toys on the floor, and that's when he first started helping you. You were probably like 3 or 4.
My story will explain that a lot.
Well, I'm glad that I got to say things first, because then hopefully it'll tie into the story and be super cool. Because I like when I tell people things and they're like, you're right. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Making me feel like
I just feel like something's happening here. So I want to explain how I started talking to them, because I was very blocked off because I have a lot of trauma. So there's lots of blocks. But once I moved away from the trauma, then it started to open up. So I'm going to give you context, and then I'm going to explain how I opened up, and then I'll explain how I started getting signs, because I think anyone can start getting signs. You're listening to him. Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
he's
Hold
talking
on.
about school.
Do you have something to say about that?
That was probably your most anxious time, was when you started school and it just got worse, and it hasn't started getting better until probably 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And this house makes you feel better because you have your own space. You don't have to keep living in the trauma of where you were.
Yeah, okay. I'll start saying things. It's wild that you just like know these things that I've never told anyone, so it's fun.
He's so cool though.
Mhm.
He's like so manly. He's like, everything's gonna be okay. I don't know. But it's
that's
a
what I
cloud.
need.
Imagine just a cloud saying that. Sorry. A cloud is very sassily masculine.
Yeah, very.
Look, sassy masculine cloud. That could be a t-shirt. Let's start with that.
So I was in a situation when I was younger where I had a lot of trauma. So essentially my emotions were not being met. It kind of worsened when I went to school.
It's not me.
Okay, so when I was a child, there were a lot of narcissists in my life that kind of brought me down. It was more along the lines of like invalidating my feelings, which again causes trauma. So if that happens to you, it's trauma. It doesn't matter how hard or how, I don't know what the word is, like how traumatic it is, but that doesn't make sense.
Everybody's trauma is different, and we're not here to invalidate your traumas just because you lived in a nice household, so your trauma doesn't count. Everybody's trauma is trauma, and we're not going to invalidate anybody's trauma.
Yeah. And because of that, it was like they fed off of each other. So I would go to one place and then have a bad experience there, and then go to another place and then get invalidated for that experience, and it just spun around those kind of scenarios. So fast forward last year, I moved out of my house and got a new job. So I essentially moved away from the trauma. And because I moved away from the trauma, I opened myself up. So I took blocks out. And it was essentially like my whole existence up until that point, I was trying to do that. But because I was in my trauma, I couldn't do it.
You changed your environments in which your traumas happened.
It was
so
like
you're no longer
I
in that
pulled
environment.
blocks out, and then they would just put them back in, basically. So because I moved away from that and moved away from my job, I was allowed to take the blocks out and like process them and then not have the block anymore. And because of that, I started experiencing scary things. Well, okay, paranormal things.
Just because your mind was less focused on other things that are happening, which is called ego. You didn't have other people's ego pressing on you, so now you can see things more.
Yeah, so I found spiritual TikTok, and they started talking about how to connect with your spirit guides. And one of the things that I started noticing is that I was getting feedback from them. So like one of the things, what?
Him? Him.
Oh, is it just one though? I'm sorry. That's why I said them. Because I didn't know if it was just him.
Angry. I already did one and I want to do another.
I mean, it's up to you.
I feel like this one's more new. She's like 2 weeks.
That makes sense.
Your cloud has been there since you were like a tot though.
Yeah, because 2 weeks ago is when I started seeing twos. So what they were saying is that it comes through really quick, and obviously it doesn't happen in their voice because that would be scary to you, so you wouldn't want to hear that. So a lot of times it's very doubtful if you aren't a seer and can see them, that you're actually speaking to a spirit guide versus your own thoughts or whatever. So I am claircognizant, which means I have clear thoughts. So I just know things. So that's how I get information from my spirit guide. And again, it happens really quick. It's like a connect the dots, and I have all of the dots, but I don't have the order in which you connect the dots. And that's where the spirit guides kind of fill in the holes. They'll number the dots. And because of that, then I know how all of these scenarios connect. And it's something that I wouldn't have otherwise. It's like information I wouldn't be able to get on my own. The way I explained it to you, I think, is there's two paths in front of me, and I'm just walking forward, not realizing there's a path because it's dark. And they'll just like push me that way.
Got it.
And then because I go down that path, it's like I know everything about what just happened. Then I found...
That makes so much sense. Sorry, no, I'm thinking, okay, remember how I told you when you had the tapping in your kitchen?
Yeah.
That I thought there was an old lady?
Mm-hmm.
I think the old lady is your second spirit guide. I think there was still something in your house, but this lady is the one that was telling me that there was a thing in your house. She's the second spirit guide. Because that was 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? She came in a week before that. Then the weird thing came into the house, and she was telling me about the weird thing.
Ah, got you.
She's the one that's doing all the connecting
I
of
was
the
like,
dots.
oh my god.
She's the one that does that, because she's showing me lists. She's like, Emily just got done making cookies with her mom. I show her lists. I write the lists for her,
oh my god.
and she doesn't understand them, but I give her the list. That's how she knows where she's going. That's connecting the dots. And then your other spirit guide is the guy, but he's been there the whole time. He's your main OG. He does anxiety. This new lady's like, she's now fucking out of this situation. She's doing all the things that she needs to do, and I'm gonna help her fucking get this shit done because you've been very motivated lately. Sorry. I was like, why is there an old lady?
That makes so much sense.
Okay, aside
Because I wasn't able to do that, like, even a month ago.
Yeah, it was like 2-3 weeks ago. 2-3 weeks, that's it. And there was a small trickster in Emily's house, like tapping on things, and this old lady came in, and I thought it was a lady, and I was like, why is there a lady? And she's kind of like sassy, but like in a nice way.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I don't remember what we're talking about. Sorry.
You were showing a video on TikTok.
Okay. And then I saw this TikTok where this girl explained that she was going through her spiritual awakening. She explained what a spiritual awakening was and that she was trying to connect to her spirit guides. So first of all, I realized that I was going through a spiritual awakening. So the point of the story of the TikTok is how she connected with her guides, and she essentially said, if you can send me rainbows to tell me that I'm on the right path, that would help me out. So she lives in an area where it is very dry, so she was like, I'm not going to see rainbows. So the next day, her daughter came in and was like, I learned how to draw rainbows today, Mommy, look at this. And the page was filled with rainbows. So I was like, that sounds fun, I'm gonna do that. So the next day I was like, I gotta come up with the best sign. So I'm like, well, we could start with feathers and this other thing, but I was like, I have cats, everything has feathers, I can't do that. So I was like, okay, f it, I'm gonna do rainbows, but also we could do like rainbows for yes and skulls for no, because that would be fun too. But bones are scary, so I don't want to do bones. And then literally the next day, I have not decided anything. I see this TikTok, and it's about this girl that's drawing an anime character, and she has a rainbow on her arm. And I was like, oh, that was one of the things I was thinking about being a sign. And then I watched it again, and the girl drew skulls on their shoes. So that was the first one.
That's super fun, and I think that's hilarious, and I'm mad at myself for not saying this, but when you said that you wanted your spirit guides to send you rainbows and skulls, I literally got, but skulls are too scary for her, and I got drawings. Like cute little anime ones. Like, what was that? The Miss something?
And what's interesting too is the bones come in after, which I'll explain in the next story.
Oh, okay, good. I'm excited. They're excited. They're having fun with this.
Yeah, I can tell. 2 days ago, I was like, I have too much to do, I can't handle this. So I don't know if I want to. I have a pet YouTube channel and I have this YouTube channel. So I'm like, I've got too much on my plate. I need to figure out if I want to do both of these or none of them or whatever I want to do. So I, at 3 a.m. was like, oh, you need to send me a sign if I should continue this spirit YouTube channel, whatever. Please send it tomorrow. Like, rainbows for yes and skulls for no, right? So the next day, I have like notifications on my phone, and I have a notification for Twitter from this girl. It just like randomly gives you notifications of things that Twitter thinks that you like or whatever. So I'm not actually friends with this girl. And it was like a rainbow flag in my notification. So I clicked on the rainbow flag, and the girl's name is Bone Searcher. That happened, and I was like, well, you just said yes and no, so I don't understand. Later that day, I saw this TikTok, and immediately I was like, this sounds like my scenario to a T. And then you're gonna need to watch it to know the rest.
What does the
I really
universe
like
want you to
that
know? Ooh, new creative
card
project,
flies out.
possibly.
That's always great.
Something about a new creative project. Ooh, you're trying to decide what you need to do. But I feel like a decision is soon going to be made, and whatever that decision is going to bring you coin. So that's dope. Whatever that decision is going to be... Yeah, literally, a decision needs to be made. 2 stories. A decision needs to be made, but once that decision is made, you're going to be getting your coin, which is very exciting. You're going to find some balance in your life, and that's going to make you really happy. I feel like balance with like all the things that's going on in your life. I feel like you're managing a lot. Here, 6 of Cups. I feel like you're probably going to meet somebody that's going to help you with this, and maybe help you with this decision, or maybe just help you with this project that you're working on. Everything you need too soon. You might be, like, I'm just, look at this card. They're covering your eyes. Like, you're going to have so much abundance coming into your life. You're not going to believe it. It's literally going to shock you. Oh, I'm getting overwhelmed just thinking about it. It makes me want to cry. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so happy for you. Wow. This feels really well deserved.
She has a wind and some sort of gold, like light fixture behind her. I don't know what that means. You can't physically see it, but it's there.
Every time you tell me that, I'm like, where?
It's like one of those gold light fixtures, but it's tilted upside down with like one head, and it's like this. And there's some sort of like bird wind thing. That's why her cards keep f***ing out.
Keep flying out.
Yeah, because there's literally like this bird of wind, and it's like.
This one.
Sorry.
The last card was a rainbow card, and I was like, okay, so that seems like a yes to me if I saw anything. But on top of that, I was like, that can't be real, right? Because I thought it was a lie, I kept scrolling, and the next TikTok was this one.
Just like I need more validation.
So I did a reading for this other TikToker that I really enjoy following. She does these readings with bones, which I think is just like f***ing cool, right? So did a reading for her. This is what it looks like.
Rainbows. Rainbows and bones.
But you got lots of rainbows. Well, what is your consensus? Do you think that you should? And I think that's funny because this week I was crying all week.
Not listen.
Being so upset about all the things that we're doing, and I feel like we're taking on a lot with this channel, with like having houses and jobs and being adults.
What I got from that was, yes, it is a good decision, but you have to make a decision. Yeah, so to me, it was like, yes, if you make this decision to have the spiritual channel, it will work out for you, but you have to make the decision to do it.
It's so much. It's really overwhelming. And Emily's doing so much work, and I thought that you've just been on top of it all week, and I've literally been breaking down. But you're like, no, this week was really hard, but last week was really hard for me too, and I thought you were way more on top of everything and like cool, calm, and collected about it. And I literally had like 3 mental breakdowns about this last week. I was like, she has so many things that she wants me to do. I don't know how to do all of these things. She's doing all of these things, and she's just like on top of everything, and I can't do that. I don't know how I'm gonna do any of this.
You know what that is? It's a Virgo.
I know! Because you're like, have so many lists. She has so many things planned out,
everything.
and I can't do it. It stresses me out. Do you see this?
It
that
stresses
is
me out.
stress,
Do
and
not
also
know
people
exactly
talking
what
to me, things talking to me, lots of things.
So yeah, if you guys want to connect with your spirit guide, you can ask for a sign. You want to tell them what to say, because you obviously know.
I thought people knew this. I thought it was normal. Sorry.
Most people don't know they exist. Okay, so it's basically like asking air to give you a sign.
Well, that's what you're doing. Okay, follow our podcast. We will talk about this. When we are physical beings, everything has to be physical for us, because if it's not physical, it doesn't exist, because cognitively that doesn't make sense to rational human beings. Everybody has a spirit guide, but a spirit guide isn't physical. So if you want signs, that's something physical. You're not just trusting in the fact that you have a spirit guide. You as a human physical being want a sign, so you have to ask them. You have to just like clear your mind and focus and say to your spirit guides, whether you can see them or not, everybody's different, say, please send me a sign. I am struggling with this, or you don't even have to be struggling with anything. If you just want to know who they are, or have that affirmation to know that someone or something is there for you, because everybody has one or more, like Emily did, say, send me a sign, whether it's numbers or rainbows, sunshine, birds, all of these different things. They will manifest something physical to confirm what you're asking.
And the sign doesn't really matter what it is.
Whatever's personal to you.
If you guys do try this sign or symbol with your spirit guide, you can either comment them down below, or you can go to our brand new website, which we will have a link in the description below, and you can give us your best story, whether it be your spirit guide sign or a paranormal story. We will take any of those as long as they are original. Don't like go on the internet and find some story.
We don't want creepypastas. I can read creepypastas. I don't need you to send them to me.
So yeah, so we will collect all of those and we will make a video about it. So if you guys are interested, make sure you go to our website to fill that out, and we will add it to one of our next videos.
To listen to more in-depth conversations about our nonsensical rambling, we're gonna have a podcast, and they're about our previous episodes. So if you want to know more about paranormal stories of a medium, chakras, or spirit guides, or zodiac signs, tune in to our podcast, because there's going to be a lot of fucking rambling on there, and it's going to be great. You washing some dishes, you want to hear some paranormal stories, click on it. Yeah!
If you guys are interested in any more paranormal or metaphysical content, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do not miss the next time we post. However, make sure you check out our podcast and watch these videos next, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace. So many things. Okay, so we got this. 2 microphones. 2 microphone holder thingies. So we're set up. We're gonna have to learn how to use all this stuff though. But it's gonna be great, because podcasts.